Welcome, deep divers. Today, we're really getting into a wild adventure.
You definitely are.
Our source material is Chris Stewart's brilliant book, Driving Over Lemons, An Optimist in Spain.
Such a vivid read.
It really is. It's all about him and his wife, Anna, ditching their, normal life in England for this super remote, often quite primitive mountain farm down in Andalucía. So our mission today, we're going to unpack what it actually takes to just, pull up roots, leave everything familiar behind, and try to build this almost self-sufficient life somewhere completely new.
Two are very different, yeah?
We'll look at the culture clashes, the practical stuff that goes wrong, which is a lot.
Oh, yeah, plenty of that.
And those moments of surprising joy, but also the harsh realities of doing something this big.
And I think what makes it so compelling is that universal dream, isn't it? The idea of escaping, finding a simpler life.
Right.
But Stewart's book shows it's not simple, is it? It's just a different kind of complex. You trade modern problems for these ancient, rugged ones.
That's a great way to put it.
The book really captures that feeling of adapting, not just physically to a place, but mentally, to a whole new way of thinking, where everything you assumed is suddenly up for grabs.
Okay, so let's dive in. How did it all start?
Yeah.
Chris was quite specific at first, wasn't he? He wanted mountains, absolutely not suburbs.
He was very clear on that.
And his agent, Georgina, her response was just classic, wasn't it? Shut up and keep driving. What does that tell us right off the bat?
Well, it's that perfect clash, isn't it? His romantic vision hits this wall of local pragmatism. Georgina knows the reality on the ground. You can't just conjure up the perfect place. You have to, see what's actually there.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't tick all the boxes immediately. That line really sets the scene for Chris constantly having his expectations, let's say, adjusted by the locals.
And adjusted they were. So they find this place, El Valero. He describes it as a derelict house on a cactus-covered crag surrounded by unkempt fields and terraces of ancient olive trees.
Doesn't sound immediately appealing, does it?
Not really. His first reaction was basically, hell no. Why did you bring me here?
Laughs right.
But Georgina just says, El Valero, and you are well-suited. She saw something. Some potential, maybe.
Or maybe just a stubborn buyer and a property that needed one. But yeah, she had this conviction. And then, Chris has to call Anna back in England.
Right. And her questions are, understandably, very practical. How far to the nearest road?
Crucial question. And then the water situation.
Oh, the water. No, there's no running water. Then he paused. Wait, I tell a lie. There's a babbling hosepipe tied to an oil drum about 20 meters below the house.
It's perfect. And then finding out the water's poisonous. Can't even wash in it.
Apparently the locals wash their hair in the river, which Chris thought sounded rather nice.
Idealistic, maybe. And the bathroom they put in, no water actually reached it.
It's that theme again, isn't it? The dream versus the very damp or non-existent reality.
Absolutely. Stark and often pretty funny, in hindsight at least.
Yeah, and just when you think, okay, maybe they can work with this, the damn scare hits.
Oh, yeah. That was a big one early on.
He finds out from Pedro Romero, the seller, that the whole valley might be flooded, gone, underwater.
Imagine buying your dream ruin only to hear that.
And Romero's reaction, just a casual claro naturally and reassurance about getting a whole heap of compensation. Must have been completely baffling.
Totally. But then, reality sort of reasserts itself again. Georgina and Domingo, another local, they pour cold water on that idea pretty quickly.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, they explained it's an old plan, like 25 years old. Economically impossible because the rock's like a sponge.
So another reality check.
Exactly. And this whole period, it sets this pattern, doesn't it? Idealism meets harsh truths. And it also flags up this issue of who do you trust? Whose local knowledge is reliable? Especially when someone like Pedro clearly has his own reasons for saying things.
Speaking of Pedro, Chris then basically becomes his apprentice for the summer.
An intense apprenticeship by the sounds of it,
Yeah.
especially the cooking lessons.
Oh, the cooking. Pedro's method for pavas a lo pobre. It's something else, this hideously greasy and blackened pan.
Okay.
2 coffee cupfuls of olive oil.
Wow.
Unpeeled onions, a whole head of garlic, also unpeeled.
Unpeeled, really?
Yep, and potatoes chopped into great coarse chips, just swimming in water beforehand. Pedro's logic. If you don't peel them, they don't burn, and they keep their flavor better. Less work, too.
Well, you can't argue with the less work part, I suppose. It's that hardcore practicality again, isn't it? It's not about fancy cooking. It's about fuel, survival, minimum effort.
Totally challenges our, modern kitchen sensibilities.
Completely.
And Chris ate this dish, papas a la pobre,
Yeah.
every single meal for a month.
Every meal.
Every meal, washed down with thick brown wine.
Mm-hmm.
Yet Pedro calls El Valero paradise. Finest air, finest water, wouldn't leave. Except he is leaving, selling it, because my people don't like it here.
That contradiction is fascinating. Pedro is deeply connected to the land, his paradise, but his family wants something else, presumably town life, conveniences, and his worldview, warning Chris about the bad milk of the town, stressing honesty. Nothing is as important as being honest and straightforward. But what do they care? It shows that deep suspicion of outsiders, that self-reliant streak you find in isolated communities.
He values his own connection, even if his family's pulling him away.
Exactly. It's a conflict we see playing out more and more.
And Pedro wasn't the only influence. They started meeting other people, like Bernardo and Isabel.
The Dutch couple, right. Who'd already done the hard yards, built their own place up.
Exactly. And Isabel was pretty blunt about Pedro, wasn't she? Called him out on his showmanship and bad reputation.
Yeah, she mentioned that really alarming incident with the shotgun.
Threatening to shoot himself if she didn't make love to him. Yikes.
Oh.
That definitely adds a darker shade to Chris's initial view of Pedro.
It does. It's a reminder that, you can't just romanticize everyone you meet in your rural idyll. People are complicated everywhere. Bernardo and Isabel, as fellow outsiders who'd made it work, probably offered a really valuable, more grounded perspective.
Help them see things a bit more clearly, maybe.
I think so. Which leads us to some pretty stark cultural differences, like the matanza.
Ah, yes, the pig killing time. Chris's description is, well, it's graphic. Horrible business, the hook, the knife, the transition from a living creature shrieking to an inanimate leather bag.
It's brutal, no way around it.
But then, amidst all that, he describes this strange bonhomie, people joking, this ribald humor, as they're burning the hair off the carcass with balina, those sisal torches.
It's a ritual, isn't it? More than just slaughter. It's communal, practical, deeply traditional.
While Anna, understandably, couldn't really face it. She was making nut cutlets and spinach quiche, while everyone else feasted on pig fat.
And that contrast is so powerful. It really highlights that disconnect many of us have now from where our food actually comes from. Anna's reaction is probably quite relatable for a lot of modern readers.
Yeah, it definitely makes you think.
It's a huge cultural gap they were navigating right there.
It really was. And the differences kept coming, even in construction. They meet Domingo, the local guy who knows how to do everything.
Ah, Domingo. The embodiment of local wisdom.
Absolutely. And his wisdom was often unconventional, like insisting they cut the eucalyptus beams for the bridge only during the waning of the August moon to stop them rotting.
See, to us that sounds maybe superstitious, but it's knowledge built up over generations. There might be a real reason, maybe about sap levels or something, that they observed works.
They just had to trust it, didn't they? Even if it didn't fit their, logical Western mindset.
Exactly. It's a different kind of logic, based on long experience, not lab tests.
And hiring the digger driver for the road. Domingo's instructions were so specific.
Oh, I love this bit.
No rubber wheels, they're no good. Not an old machine, because it will get tired, but not a new one either, because the driver would be frightened to scratch the paintwork.
It's brilliant. It's not just about the machine, it's about the operator. Their psychology, their pride. Domingo understands the whole system, people included. It's pure pragmatic genius.
You just had to go with it, wouldn't you?
You absolutely would.
So eventually the house is habitable-ish, and they make the move, bringing the carefully chosen remnants of their old life.
The precious cargo.
And reality bites immediately. That first cup of tea.
Oh yes, the tuna tins.
Made in a bent pot, water from the leaky hose, served in empty tuna tins, with the scum of fish oil floating on top.
Laughs mentally. It's just perfect, isn't it? Hilarious and bleak all at once, all those carefully chosen remnants. Totally useless without the basic infrastructure. It's incredibly humbling.
Talk about confronting your dependence on mod cons.
Absolutely. Puts things in perspective.
And Pedro sees all their stuff, the egg slicer, the asparagus kettle, the tea cozy, the word processor, and basically says, El Pujoran man has no need of such dross.
Pretty much sums it up.
And the warnings kept coming too, didn't they? The wooden bed breeds Chinch's bed bugs.
Ugh. Nightmare fuel.
Scorpions everywhere, snakes thick as my thigh that can apparently knock you over. Nature wasn't messing around.
No, Pedro's just laying out the facts of life there. Their fripperies are completely irrelevant when you're dealing with scorpions and giant snakes and, well, dodgy water supplies.
Speaking of water, upgrading the system wasn't easy either.
Another battle against nature.
Their first attempt failed because The pipes got filled with abejorros nests, these huge bees.
Bees nesting in the water pipes, you couldn't make it up.
It took Domingo again, finding that lost water spring, to finally get water gushing continuously from the taps.
A major victory. But it shows, doesn't it, how often their efforts to control things just didn't work out as planned.
Like the poultry keeping. First, the quail recreation facility.
Which is very official.
Ended up being a fox's dinner.
Uh.
Then the beautiful stone chicken shed.
Uh-oh.
Chickens eaten by a stoat or a weasel.
It's that recurring theme again. You build your little controlled environments, but the wild just pushes back. You're coexisting at best, not conquering.
And often losing.
Often losing, yeah. Adaptation, not domination, is the key.
So as they're living there longer, that initial image of Pedro starts to change.
The rose-tinted glasses come off.
Yeah, the neighbors, Pepe, Isabel, Domingo, Georgina, start telling Chris that Pedro's basically been taking advantage of him, bragging about it in town.
And making things up about Anna, suggesting she fancied him.
Which leads Chris to that realization. His self-delusions collapsed in a heap.
It's a tough moment. But Anna's response is so insightful, isn't it?
It really is. Because you don't much care to judge people's characters. It's a strength, as well as a weakness.
That sums it up perfectly. You need that openness to connect, but you also need, eventually, to develop a bit more discernment, maybe. Especially in a small community where reputation and nuance mean everything.
Learning to read the signs.
Exactly.
Then there was that whole drama with Expira's illness.
Oh, the kidney stone miracle.
Domingo and his father were convinced it was cancer, that she was dying, preparing for the worst.
Which, in that context, without easy access to diagnostics, maybe felt like the only explanation for such severe symptoms.
Right. And then the doctor comes out after the operation, beaming, saying it was just a stone in the kidneys.
What a turnaround. It really highlights that gap between traditional, maybe fear-based health understanding and modern medicine's ability to diagnose and treat.
And the aftermath was just as interesting. Expira and Old Man Domingo somehow scraped together the money.
Despite seeming to have nothing.
And buy a flat in town for cash. With a freezer, washing machine, huge TV. The works.
The allure of modern convenience.
But Expira's feelings were so mixed. Life in the Cortijo is hard. But here it's easy.
The classic trade-off.
But there's nothing to do except sit and look at that horrible television. You couldn't live here long or you'd go crazy.
Wow, that says so much, doesn't it? The ease is nice, but maybe the hardship, the doing, provided a sense of purpose that easy living can't replace. It makes you really question what quality of life actually means.
Definitely. Now, another key figure was Juliette de Berkeley-Levy, the herbalist.
Ah, yes, Juliette, a force of nature herself.
Anna really started relying on her methods, didn't she? Treating sheep with Chris's urine.
Right. And wormwood and garlic balls, very hands-on remedies.
Even Chris's own nasty sickle wound got the Juliette treatment poultices potions. And he admits it healed surprisingly fast.
She clearly had some effective traditional knowledge.
Though some remedies were maybe less successful. Like the meat-preserving pit.
Oh, that ordeal, digging a meter-deep hole in rock-hard ground.
Boning meat surrounded by flies and wasps. Rinsing off fly eggs.
Sounds delightful.
Then burying it under herbs. He notes that one wasn't repeated.
I can imagine why, but Juliette's influence was significant, wasn't it? She was like part of the family almost. And her beliefs were quite radical, disapproving of cooked food, rubber-soled shoes, denying earth energy.
Yeah, she represents this whole other spectrum of belief about health and living, totally different from modern medicine or even people like Domingo. It shows the diversity in the valley. So life goes on, they become more settled, and then parenthood arrives. Chloë is born.
A new chapter.
And the journey to the hospital sounds surreal. Detouring around road closures, full moon.
Like something out of a dream, he says.
And Chris, feeling the pressure of being the modern man, tries to trick his way into the delivery room.
By pretending Anna doesn't speak Spanish.
Right after she's just given her details perfectly fluently.
It's hilarious, but also kind of poignant, isn't it? Trying to fit his expectations onto a different cultural reality. His whole hospital experience, the Immaculate Conception chapter, really contrasts with maybe idealized birth ideas.
Definitely highlights those cultural clashes, even in deeply personal moments.
For sure.
And Chloe's christening sounds equally unique.
The consecrated cable drum altar.
Presided over by a botanist vicar, bribing the toddler with chocolate to accept the holy water.
You have to do what works, right?
And the grand finale. The English contingent singing All Things Bright and Beautiful, to the complete confusion of the Spanish guests.
Because it was the only him they all sort of knew.
It's these moments, isn't it? These blends of culture, the awkwardness, the humor. They show the family slowly, surely becoming part of the place.
Exactly. It's integration in action, warts and all. And it culminates in that acceptance from Old Man Domingo after Chloe's born. You've sown your seed here, you're one of us now.
I must have felt huge.
The ultimate validation, really. They're no longer just visitors.
So, reflecting on the whole story, it's quite a journey. From that, well, naive optimism at the start
Definitely.
to this really deep, earned understanding of the place and the people. It's got charm, absolutely, but so much hardship too, constant challenges, droughts, floods, that dodgy river.
Sheep eating the garden. Always something.
Always something, but all woven into this incredibly rich, complex local life.
And I think what this deep dive really shows is that the paradise they found wasn't some perfect, easy place. It was found in the struggle, in the adaptation, in figuring out how to, well, drive over the lemons.
Nice way to put it.
That's where the connection comes from, the belonging. It's about letting the place change you, not the other way around, becoming one of us.
So thinking about Chris and Anna's story, it leaves us with a question for you, our listeners. What kind of deep dive into a completely new way of living would really test your optimism, your ability to adapt? What unexpected, maybe metaphorical lemons might you find yourself driving over? And what surprising sweetness could come out of it?
It's a great question to ponder.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.